Welcome back. This is Edge of the Web Radio. I'm your host, Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics and owner of an Indianapolis-based digital marketing company. We're covering SEO and digital marketing news of the week. Actually, on top of that, social media news this week, separate from our weekly interview process, getting more news to you as quickly as we possibly can from Edge of the Web. Check out all the shows over at edgeofthewebradio.com. That's edgeofthewebradio.com. Guess what? We are back at Brighton SEO. Teaming up with Brighton SEO again in San Diego, September 23rd and 24th. And check this out. We have 15% off for a friend or a training ticket to Brighton SEO for the Edge audience. Simply go to the ticket sales page using the code EDGE15 on the ticket, or go to edgeofthewebradio.com/Brighton SEO. Great lineup of speakers, talks, and networking keynotes from Ross Simmons, as well as Brittany Muller. That's going to be an awesome presentation. Find out more over at BrightonSEO.com, or just go click on the link that we've got in the show notes to edgeofthewebradio.com/Brighton SEO. That's coming up very, very soon, folks. So if you haven't got your ticket yet, jump in there. We're conducting a number of interviews out there as well, so hey, we're going to be roaming the halls, so give us a shout. We may actually even have some hats with us to give away to our Edge listener audience out there. Are you an Edge listener audience, Duncan?
I am.
You are. With conviction, he says that.
Yes, sir.
Joining me in studio this week to get his take on social news is Duncan Alney. He's the founder of Firebelly Marketing. What's happening in your world?
My man, I got to start out with some enthusiasm and effervescence. I'm excited to be here, Aaron. Always good to be with you. Let's get a fist bump in.
There we go.
Look how I prepared for success.
You were there.
I'm excited to be here. Lots of things happening with social. And excited, as always, to be talking to Aaron himself about it. So, yeah.
We always share a lot before the show as well. And that's actually what's cool about doing stuff in studio, because we can do a little bit of pre-show, not only banter, but actually just unpack some things that we're both working on. Exactly. So that's really fun. That's why we built the studio, and it's great to have you on with a regular beat talking about social media. Hey, make sure that we know that our title sponsor is Site Strategics. Proud to have Site Strategics as the title sponsor of Edge of the Web. We're one of the top SEOs in the Midwest, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what we do actually with the podcast studio here in a little bit. But before anything else, you didn't tell me what else is going on in the Firebelly world.
We're doing very well. As you know, we focus on food and beverage marketing, and so we are expanding our capabilities. We have our ads team is one of the top ads teams in terms of its relationship with Meta, and doing a lot with retail velocity, which is moving buyers into retail locations, which is very difficult to measure. Yeah, but we know it works. We just don't always know why.
Getting the foot traffic there, right?
That's right. Getting the foot traffic. Exactly.
Whatever happened to some of the beacons that were kind of distributed by Google and Facebook over the years? Has that ever taken hold?
I don't know. As one of my friends would say, that's a great question, Aaron, and when I don't know the answer.
Because it was about 5 or 6 years ago that there was a big movement to be able to have that type of measurement tool at location, and then be able to geoping against cell phones that had accounts that it could actually read. But it didn't sound like it ever took off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the mobile tracking still exists. I think the challenge is correlating it with an actual purchase. So we can say, hey, gotcha. We know where you came from and where you're going, and we know you came in here, but we don't know exactly what you purchased. And so I think, small and medium-sized brands typically don't even have access to that level of data. So it's the large brands, so they've got that data. I don't know how, I know Amazon and Walmart are leading the way, really. Walmart's leading the way with its AI, with its ability to check out, ability to buy in store and on the web at the same time. Yep. So their smart stores are really killing it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you for that.
Yeah, welcome.
That wasn't even part of the lineup here today, but
it wasn't.
On our lineup here, some digital marketing news at the top of the cake here, not diving into social yet. Google launches AI mode in 180 countries and territories. This is from Search Engine Land from Barry Schwartz. Google's rolling out this AI mode. If you've not seen it yet, you certainly will. They said starting today, we're bringing more advanced agentic and personalized capabilities to AI mode, so you can make progress on your tasks and get more tailored information based on your interests. We're also bringing AI mode to even more people around the world, 180 countries and regions. They're still actually executing it in English languages right now, so that doesn't actually pair up. AI mode is still actually just in English, but The new agentic experiences, they announced experiences in AI mode specifically for finding restaurant reservations. Google said that they could also expand into local service appointments and event tickets. They also have some personalized preferences. They said searchers in the US who have opted into the AI mode experiment lab will see results tailored to their personal preferences and interests. It starts with dining related topics, helping you discover new restaurants and cafes that match your unique tastes. They have some interesting video content there on the search engine land page there. But more importantly, what is AI mode? If you don't know what it is, AI mode is a new tab within Google search that actually brings you into more of an AI-like interface. Right? Google said that AI mode is particularly helpful for queries with further exploration, reasoning, and comparisons that are needed. AI mode also lets you explore a topic and get comprehensive AI-based answers without you needing to go do the same comparisons and analyses yourself. Now, that said, not a big fan of AI mode. There's a lot of actual discussion in the social sphere around the echo chamber. That is, if you allow AI to learn for you, you're not actually conducting your own reasoning. You're basically allowing it to do that relationship connection for you. So it could very well be a harbinger of a bit more of a laziness factor for users, that it's just going to be easy to handholds, and I'm just going to not even think about what I'm really trying to get at because it's just surfacing up so much information for me. I'll just take a swag at that, So there's a principle there that is scary, because the more and more we've got AI around us, it's not really insisting that we are more, dare I say, more interrogatory in nature, or not more critical thinking skills are actually being honed there. It's the opposite. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a strong case, whether it's from a social standpoint or a personal use standpoint, for using AI to eliminate repetitive tasks, to bring structure when your mind can't find structure, to do first round ideation.
Right.
But I think I agree with you, the critical thinking. It is interesting to see AI mimicking critical thinking.
Right.
And sometimes, I mean, it does it decently, but it doesn't always know your instincts.
Correct.
I should say it never knows your instincts, but there's a loss of derivative thinking and inferential thinking. So we'll see if that kind of advanced logic-based thinking comes around, or if you have to instruct it to be that way. But
oh my gosh, yeah, that's a well stated there, because I think we're going to be losing that if we don't have a counterbalance to that, because AI is obviously everywhere. We're going to be talking about that here today. Speaking of, the next article from Danny Goodwin over at Search Engine Land, that is ChatGPT is sending less traffic to websites, down 52% in a month. Reddit and Wikipedia now dominate the ChatGPT citations. And OpenAI experiments with answer first sources are actually carrying new citation weighting. So check this out. Great piece of information from Danny Goodwin. The referral traffic, this is what we're talking about, of referral traffic to websites that have been previously cited have gone down 52% in lieu of Reddit and Wikipedia starting to actually fill in the gap. So the fear was actual that we're going to be losing more and more organic traffic. And I mean, the AI platforms are looking for answer-based content, not just content that's coming from a particular brand that's actually understood to be a subject matter expert there. By the numbers, says Danny, Reddit citations are up 87% in AI overview since July 23rd, now topping 10% of all of the ChatGPT citations. Wikipedia jumped 62% from its July low, grabbing nearly 13% of citation share, with the top three sites, Wikipedia, Reddit, and TechRadar, accounting for 22% of all citations. That's up 53% in a month. Is this not choppy waters? Is this not choppy waters?
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious to know. I have an immediate question for you. I can understand the value because of their editorial processes and kind of agnostic moderators. I can understand the value of Wikipedia.
Agnostic, really?
Well, let's say seemingly.
Okay, no worries. Keep on going.
But what about the Reddit piece there? Is it basically just a move from self-proclaimed and self-proving subject matter experts to a
crowdsourcing of information, a crowdsourcing consensus? And I think that's actually the next level there, is that Reddit by itself up votes and downvotes, right? If you actually look at the commentary that will be in Reddit, and if somebody is positing a non-consensual, right, or comment, there is an organic consensus that's happening inside of Reddit, right? So you could be looking at this as one of the best ways for AI to actually, or OpenAI, to be able to understand what's really bubbling to the top because of a crowdsourcing consensus. I'm thinking that that's probably the play right now.
Yeah.
That said, that's scary because you can also have groupthink that goes way off tangent, depending on the Reddit boards, right, and go into their own echo chamber, so to speak, without any level of additional validation or empirical evidence bringing into that conversation, because Redditors themselves are a beast unto themselves, as opposed to the Wikipedia moderators. And we'll just set that there because they're all elves and goblins.
Yeah, and there is speculation, we'll just call it speculation, that Reddit is now offering moderation-based input into their advertising advice, so that, hey, our community moderators will be able to advise the advertiser, which doesn't surprise me, but it also makes me think about, are we still in an era of collective intelligence, or are we entering an era of collective stupidity? Hey, I was trying to do some Erin humor there.
It could very well be. Oh my gosh, you just painted a nihilistic picture for me. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to pivot around real quick and talk about site strategics and let you know a little bit about what we have dialed into this shop. We haven't done that often, but it's about time that we talk about this. What does it take to make a good podcast? A good idea, a good recording equipment, yeah, and a want to share. Yeah, that's the start. But if you have to have a strategy to map out everything that you need, from audio imagery, video assets, as well as the curation of everything, we talked about this pre-show, you're having a lot to actually do in a very small amount of time to be able to create that digital wake. And we talk about this regularly, that digital mosaic of information that Google's paying attention to. That lane of audio and video content needs to have strategy behind it. So we've been doing this for our show for years, 13 years now. And we've created a number of successful podcasts in our shop as well. Edge Media Studios, which is a sub-brand of Site Strategics, is poised to be able to help you in that podcast journey. We can help you plan the professional assets all the way to executing at a level that you will get your listeners' attention. Plus, we make it so easy you don't have to worry about anything except the conversation that you're actually having. So if you're interested in what we can do for you from the podcast production standpoint, go over to edgethewebradio.com/podcast. Check out the media side of our organization. That's Edge Media Studios. We offer a free hour consultation to see how we can help you, help your current podcast, or your clients for that matter. We just started up a new client here just recently, and are giving a lot of good strategy, and we actually have a strategy process to actually map the pain points of the user, the entire buyer's journey, and that actually is the core foundation of actually developing a good podcast. So we've got 13 years under our belt. We've done a lot of these shows, but a lot of other shows as well. So we're brandishing that skill on a regular basis. So go check us out over at edgeofthewebradio.com/podcast, and let us get you into that podcast evolution that the engines are paying attention to, and the AI and the LLMs.
And it's certainly an advantage to anyone that signs up with Edge of the Web Studios, because you're getting someone that gets the logic and the process of being found. So you're not just putting content out, but you're actually doing it in a very strategic way.
It's inception right there. Yeah. Actually, one of the things that we actually do regularly is not only build a strategy, but also make sure that we have the curation strategy as well. So it's actually populating to blog posts as well as show page, and that show page has all the respective podcast schema, because there's a specific type of schema for podcast episodes. So we roll through all of that to make sure that Google's very aware of what your show's about and picks up all the respective signals. So that's why the combination of the media production and the digital marketing production is so powerful. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It was an unpaid solicitation there.
Hey.
You know who's not going to be paying? The U.S. is not going to be paying for TikTok's black box. China says that they will not sell TikTok's algorithm to the U.S. This is from Social Media Today from Andrew Hutchinson. Always great content coming from him. Fact of the matter is, things are not looking great here, with the Chinese government reiterating that it has no intention of selling TikTok's algorithmic black box as part of any U.S. partnership deal via the State media publication China Daily, the CCP says, it's just a sheer fact I'm having to read that sentence is creepy. They have actually launched an official White House TikTok account this week, and it contradicts the focus of its sell-off bill and risks that the U.S. government has been seeking to protect against. Their quote here is that the White House now has its own TikTok account undoubtedly contradicts the national security threat rhetoric that claims ByteDance is beholden to the Chinese government and that the app could be used for influencing U.S. citizens. So that's a bit disingenuous, all things being equal, because we also know what ByteDance shares with the Chinese population as opposed to the American population. It's completely different from an algorithm standpoint, and it's a bit sardonic there. But point being, they're pushing down on that. The Chinese government has criticized the perceived hypocrisy of the White House presence, also noting various other unwarranted security threat allegations against the Chinese company. So we probably should not have, as a White House, jumped into TikTok if they're truly trying to ban this thing or get this thing sold, because that was just easy fodder for the Chinese government to be able to say, well, you're here. There's obviously no threat, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really interesting dilemma, because it does make you think about the timing of the piece. It makes you think about a lot of things, really. So
it does, and we don't know what's going behind closed doors on the politics side of this thing. But there have been, if I'm not mistaken, 3 extensions on the ban as soon as Trump came back into office, if I'm not mistaken. And they're all, I think, 90-day extensions. We're now at day 200, so who knows what's going to... I mean, there were a lot of players that were stepping up to the game. Amazon was, Perplexity was.
Yeah.
But if China's saying, oh, we're not going to sell that, and by the way, you're here.
I mean, Oracle was another one of the players.
That's right,
yeah.
that's right.
So I think it's an interesting situation. I would predict that the extensions will continue. That's perfectly within the president's power to extend without congressional affirmation.
Yep.
So I think that we'll continue to see that. It's also not surprising to me, despite all the claims that were made earlier, that it's really the Chinese government that gets to decide what ByteDance does with its supposedly independent algorithm. On a related note, Chinese LLMs are prevalent across the Western world.
Right.
Apparently, they can't see any of the data in China, but we can't see anything that they're doing with Chinese LLMs. And they do get to see how their seeds are growing into flowers and or plants in terms of the analysis, even though they can't see directly what's happening. So reciprocity may not be a thing.
It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens there. And again, the dance, no pun intended, of going back and forth between these bands. Yeah, sorry. You sound like Ed McMahon there, man. Literally.
Aaron, your devil.
Okay, don't make me do...
Don't make him laugh.
Don't make me do a Carson. But advertisers have moving from TikTok in droves because there's no stability there. Mm-hmm. And as they come back, they're not coming back in equal totality of where they were. I mean, TikTok is losing advertisers on a regular basis with every one of these ban extensions here. So it's not good for the marketing ecosystem. But who knows? Who knows if Trump can actually start doing a good deal of dancing inside of TikTok on, okay, Jacob's got to say something. He's armed and ready. Go ahead.
Ready.
Go for it.
I was just... I think you brought up a great point, Duncan, and that's the LLMs. Everyone's so scared of TikTok, but if we're going to be really honest, what's the worst you can learn about me from TikTok? The things I like to watch on videos, right? And you can probably get some things from that and whatever, but maybe my location. But with LLMs, people are pouring out their lives to these things. Yeah. They're using them as therapists. They're saying, what's this rash? What's, you want to talk about scary data getting out there. Be careful what you say to an LLM. Understand its privacy and if you actually trust it.
And definitely don't share the link for your conversation to someone because that gets published. That actually gets published.
Yeah, so. It does. And we're going to talk about that in a second here. All right. So from social media today, jumping into social media deep dive here. Instagram's chief dispels engagement myth, saying that using edits boost reach. So here's the deal. Adam Mosseri, who has recently shared a couple of small tips that might actually help your Instagram engagement. Not secrets or hacks, but they're actually pretty insightful, all things being equal. Mosseri recently noted that videos created in the Meta's new Edits app, this is the key point here, do get a little bit more reach boost when shared to Instagram. Now, if you didn't know what that edit tool was, it matched the Instagram editing CapCut application where you can actually do full-on editing in the app itself. Now, edits, he says, can help a little bit with reach. It's not going to be something that's going to be around forever, he says. Do not just use edits to try to pass through content, because we can check for that. We are trying to bootstrap the app, and we've also found that predicting whether or not you're going to tap the edit button is something. So they actually know your interaction levels as well, right? Therefore,
I think it's a as expected, heavy-handed play by Meta to keep people inside its environment.
Yep, absolutely.
And the numbers are 28% more to 34% more than you would have got originally. So they're not saying you'll get 28% engagement. They're saying you'll get 28 to 34% more than you got before.
Gotcha.
Which is still, very small, but I mean, it's tempting enough. And also all this new information about posting more often, right? It's like, hey, where's that coming from?
Yep. Well, I guess my question is, what they're stating here is don't pass through content, because we can check for that. So it's, what are you actually editing there? Or are you just hitting the editing button? Again, I'm a novice here in this space.
No, it's a very good question. I think what it's doing is they're trying to convert more creators to a Meta system or Instagram specific system, and so you're not outside the system. So I mean, I think is it a hostile move? Reagan and I were talking before the show. Is it a hostile move, or is it a opportunistic move? Seems to be more for an opportunistic move. So
I just think about, Cookie Clicker, the app way back when, of just getting that cookie and getting that cookie all the time, just hitting that edit button. Are they really trying to dumb it down to that degree where if you're just interacting with the app itself, you're going to get an additional boost? Again, speaking from a particular novice perspective here, I'm just wondering, what are they expecting you to edit? I mean, point being is you can edit your own content. You're not passing new content through. Is that what they're actually positioning this for?
I mean, it seems to be, and I think it's also, I'm wondering, what are the reasons for it? Is it a time on site?
Right.
Is it monthly average user question?
Yep.
I mean, what are they looking to boost there? Because clearly, I mean, just using their app, and so that they have more control over your time.
There you go.
So it's interesting, but it's sort of contrary though, because if you're telling me you use the edit app, I get 28% more reach, X% more engagement, but Instagram is also part of its ad set, and its ad types are specific engagement boosting ads, right? And conversion ads. Now you can't buy audience on Instagram. You can buy audience and all the other engagement metrics on Facebook. So it's sort of like contrary. It's like, hey, if you don't want to spend money on that, perhaps you'll just spend more time on the app.
Gotcha. Huh.
Not clear.
No, it's not, but they're throwing a carrot out for you. So Instagram users, if you want to get a little bit of a boost, just hit the edit button evidently. All right.
We're testing it, so we don't have an answer yet, but we're testing it. But this is, I think, the third time this year that we are continuing to watch what's happening on edits here on Edge of the Web.
There you go. Yeah, there's a theme here. All right. Another article over at Sprout Social. That's a really good application, a really good platform for managing your social media. They said one to watch. This is from One to Watch. What is Bluesky? This is from Jasmine Williams, posted on August 13th. Bluesky, if you've not heard that before, is a separate app, and there's a history we're going to go through of what has actually been developing there. In less than 6 months, it's grown from 10 million to 30 million users, attracting everyone from artists to tech enthusiasts to public figures like Barack Obama. Is Bluesky worth testing your content on? It depends on several factors, says the article. If your target audience is on the network, or if you have a presence on the network that aligns with your goals and objectives, it's worth testing. So what is Bluesky? Bluesky is a social media app where people can actually share posts, text, images, videos, links, and more. On the surface, Bluesky is familiar, very, very familiar, similar to a microblog output, so to speak. But what really makes Bluesky unique is what's under the hood. So a history here real quick, and I'll turn it over to you, Duncan, here. 2019, this was started as a research product inside of X, formerly Twitter, led by then CEO Jack Dorsey. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And the goal was to explore how social media could actually be more open and user-driven. 2022 became an independent public benefit corporation focusing on building this AT protocol that they've got. 2024 gained traction as more people search for alternatives to traditional platforms. Then 2025 it is continuing to grow and adding new features like the blue check account verification and trusted verifiers. And we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah.
A while back. So have you guys been using the Bluesky app?
We have been testing Bluesky. I mean, incidentally, we have also, I think for probably 2 or more years, been testing Lemon 8, which is a version of, what is it a version of, Reagan? Instagram? It's a version of Pinterest that ByteDance incidentally owns.
Oh, wow.
And so I think Bluesky is probably a little bit more credible and reassuring in the sense that it comes from the originator of Twitter. I think it's as you said earlier, it's a direct reaction to the different direction of X under Mr. Musk.
Right.
I think there's some first mover advantages with for early adopters to experiment, find their brand voice and test it out. I think it might also be a purer, less vitriolic, not less free speech, but less vitriolic version of X.
Because you can actually customize your feeds and a good deal better than what Twitter has for X has for you. I keep on doing that. It's been a couple of years now.
That's correct. And for our audience, the more nerdy and technical focused people, it is an open source and user first platform, whatever that means.
Well, it gives you the ability to customize your own feeds to exactly what you're looking for as opposed to being fed what's more trending and what's more active in kind of a public sphere. So you can actually take yourself, if you think about it from a community standpoint, I don't want to be on Main Street. I want to be over on this cul-de-sac where I like my neighbors, right? As opposed to all the crap that's coming down Main Street.
As Wu-Tang Clan would have said, 30 million ain't nothing to with. So, I mean, I do think that 30 million there. And the news is that if Sprout, which is perhaps the most sophisticated and widely spread used social media management system, like maybe Salesforce for social, is giving you an integration into Bluesky, then I'm guessing that they have surveyed a lot of their larger brand clients and they're interested in that. That's usually like in the product pathway for at least 6 months or more. So my sense is that there's something there worth testing. Not sure if the audience psychographics and affinities for Bluesky, but maybe we could talk about that next time.
That's interesting. Well, there was a mass exodus from X whenever Musk took it over, and a lot of those new accounts died on the vine, right? There's a lot of users that have moved back to X just because of the caterwauling that's out there. But there was, to your point, a purer mindset of who I really want to talk to and get it away from that volatile environment. And just as we pulled this article up, not just here, but as we were doing research on this, I pulled up my own Bluesky. I hadn't been on there for 4 months, 5 months, and it's like, oh, wow, that's why this is here. And I was seeing good posts that I could actually interact with and people that I initially followed. I was like, okay, they're still there. They're moving through, duplicating some of their content, but there's a good deal more earnest engagement inside of Bluesky, I think, just on who I follow.
And that's an interesting opportunity to get more engagement that's not being throttled, right?
Right.
And so I don't think it's an and situation. I think it's an or situation because I think that brands will suffer from fatigue, just like end users will.
Absolutely.
And so I don't think they will use X and Bluesky. I think that ultimately people will choose one or the other. And X may not care because its user base is larger and it does it, but I don't know, Aaron, does it still have the town square vibe that it once did?
Oh, absolutely not. So, are you talking Bluesky or X? No, absolutely not. No. And on top of that, you're berated with so many. I mean, it is like watching a continued train wreck inside of, it capitalizes on the. That doesn't maybe just be my feed, and that's probably really terrible to actually expose. But I mean, I see a lot of really bad stuff there, things that should not be. I mean, just accounts that are just showing, hey, this was a really bad decision, this was a bad decision, and all these video feeds that are out there. It's just not a great environment. It makes you feel a bit just
yeah. Regardless of my personal opinions, we don't see clients wanting to go to X anymore at all. Right. I mean, we don't have a single client that wants to be on X.
That's really interesting.
I think X tries too hard too.
Yep.
I've noticed that most of my notifications are suggestions. They're trying so hard. So like I log in, I see, oh, you've got so many notifications, and I go to look at them. There's only one or two that's actually like a reply to something, or it's all these like, you should read what this person said. Mm-hmm. It's all these like, and some of them are people I know and follow, but others of them are just like, here's a political post you should go read and interact with. Like they're trying so hard to re-engage people, and they're doing it through the notification bar, and I think that's pretty telling.
Yeah, it really is. Along with that, there are no ads inside of Bluesky at this moment, right? Which is also
very nice.
Breath of fresh air right there. All right. Hey, there's a new study here from Social Media Today by Andrew Hutchinson as well. New study actually suggests that posting more often is key to Instagram growth. How often should you be posting on Instagram to maximize reach and resonance? There's a new study from Buffer and saying that the more you can post on IG, the better. The users who post more frequently can actually see clear engagement and reach benefits. They studied 2 million posts from 100,000 Instagram accounts. My God, just doing that study is mind-blowing. And they identified key trends in posting and the relationship of such to engagement. So you can check out the full study and the report we're going to put in the show notes on this show. But they actually took a bit of this article took a bit of a look into the data itself. First off, the data suggests that posting on Instagram between 3 and 5 times per week can more than double your follower growth rate, while 6 to 9 times per week or even more will increase your growth rate even further. Give me the skinny on this, Duncan.
I mean, I don't know if it's controversial, but it's definitely at odds with reality, with workflows, and with what ad tools exist, right? And that it's coming from Buffer, which is a social media management platform. Right. I mean, it seems a bit self-serving to say post more, but they also say, well, hey, don't forget that quality still trumps quantity, and there's a 12% average reach increase per post. Now, it's not 12% reach, it's saying 12% increase.
Same factor we were talking about with...
And 24% average reach boost. If you do 10 posts per week, more posts equal more chance to appear in followers' feeds, Reels feeds, and Explore page, which we know. But again, the little asterisk which says quality trumps quantity... Also, I mean, it's very difficult from just a production standpoint to put out that many great posts per month. Okay?
And then everything falls apart because AI is right there for a creator standpoint that you can absolutely scale up your posts with inauthentic AI generative content, right? So if you're just trying to get more cowbell, right, you're going to do that, but you probably could disenfranchise the audience that you've got if you start leaning into AI to be that scalable solution.
I mean, and we all know that when it comes to Instagram, we can still continue to reach people regardless of how many times we're posting, or really Meta, not just Instagram, right? So I think it's interesting for testing purposes. I mean, hey, you know what? If you're going to get an advantage with the algorithm, take it. But I also think you have to weigh the costs.
Yeah, it's a lot to be able to do quality at that frequency. That's a lot of work.
I mean, we've done 30 posts a month before, and I'll tell you what, it is an always-on approach. It is fatiguing, especially if you're trying to stay committed to the integrity of the quality. Yep. And if you're saying, hey, you know what, I'm only going to tell a story when I have a story to tell. Now suddenly it's like, hey, now we're going back to early Twitter. It's like, check out the cheeseburger I just ate, right? It's
right.
And people are doing that on LinkedIn too.
Oh my God, I was about to go there. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask that we look at the cheeseburger before you eat it?
Don't give me 3 bites shots. I mean, yeah, that's kind of nasty.
That is always sort of an under pork belly on social, is the person that doesn't give a shit and is just going to post the devastated plate with nothing left on it. But it's funny, but it's not, you can't go to that consistently.
No, you really can't. All right. Well, I mean, talking a couple different social platforms, talking about growth and engagement. Let's talk about growth here real quick, jumping over to another bit of news here. Meta's Threads have actually hit 400 million users, closing that gap with X. Surpassed 400 million monthly active. There's There's the point right there. Active users in August of 2025, marking a significant milestone in the platform's rapid growth as it continues to close that gap with X, the social network, obviously formerly known as Twitter. Didn't need to say that. So Instagram head Adam Mosseri also announced this achievement, just like we were talking about before, describing the platform's evolution as quite the ride over the last 2 years of existence. What started as a zany idea to compete with Twitter. Really? A zany idea to compete with Twitter. I don't know. I don't think there was anything zany about that. They knew exactly what they were trying to do here.
Correct.
They've evolved into a meaningful platform that fosters open exchange of perspectives, said Mosseri. The milestone represents an additional 50 million users in the past quarter alone, building on Meta's CEO Zuckerberg's April announcement that Threads has reached 350 million active users. Well, you know what's actually sidebar here? What's really interesting is I was looking for this particular headline, right? Searching for that, and I found a Perplexity indexed search result on Google of this article. And jumping in there, it was a landing page with a number of different citations going in number of different directions, but it was pulling together all the different articles that were out there from this announcement. But this was a Perplexity indexed URL in search, and that kind of threw me back going, okay, is this a moment of inception where we're actually going to be seeing LLMs being indexed with absolute URLs that aren't going to be changing? Is Perplexity and the other platforms going to be having this level of additional content to be spidered and indexed and ranking? That was not an ad. This was literally organic, top organic listing. Sidebar, I know we're talking about social, but this was kind of unique, my experience here today.
Yeah, very, very interesting. A little bit daunting, I think.
Yeah.
But also, here's the thing is, and I don't know, so I'm just going to say candidly, I don't know. But I think it's interesting to hear the term real-time social media feed, right? Because does that indicate to us that there are actually gaps or delays in the feeds from Instagram and from Facebook? And is it truly now a real-time platform? Is Threads a real-time platform?
I honestly don't know. And you know what? I did push back against Threads as soon as it came out because it was not easy. It wasn't ergonomic. It was not easily navigable to be able to find content that you're really looking for. It all kind of ate itself in my experience here. But if you've got 400 million active users, there's got to be something as a treasure trove there. And we also know that ads got rolled out there, I think mid-year last year or something like that. I could be wrong.
It's an interesting opportunity for content distribution, for sure.
Absolutely. But trust but verify. That's
trust but verify.
Absolutely.
Do you guys fear that number, is it all based on the way it's tied in with Facebook? Like Microsoft could talk about how many people have the Edge browser installed. Well, it's every Windows machine, right?
Yep.
But no one uses it. So I'm just like,
fascinating question.
Do we think that 400 million active users is just because it pops up on my timeline and I interact with it for a couple seconds while I'm on Facebook?
Or maybe I actually activated Threads a while back when it was available. Yeah. And the pulse of active Facebook behavior is still being counted on the Thread side of things.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because Bluesky and Twitter are their own thing, or X.
Right.
Instagram and Facebook and Threads are all combined.
That's right.
And WhatsApp.
And WhatsApp.
Damn it.
They're fudging the numbers. All right. Hey, take a quick pit stop here. Talk about one of our continued sponsors on the show. InLinks is a fantastic sponsor for Edge of the Web and Site Strategics. They have a new offering. I want to make sure everybody knows about it. It's WAIKAY.io. What AI knows about you. Are you keeping up with what AI knows about you and your company? Now you can stay on top of the facts with WAIKAY.io. It's a powerful tool to be able to discover exactly what AI knows about your brand, and it gives you strategies to actually work and analysis on your competitors. You can benchmark your AI presence against your competitors, reveal key content opportunities and critical gaps that you've got. In fact, I just used it yesterday as I was talking to a prospect, and I was able to fire up a report within seconds going, okay, you got a hole here, you got a hole here, you got a hole here. It was pretty cool, and that's got 5 different AI platforms that it's pulling that information from. You can look at content opportunities and also flag harmful link hallucinations all in one report. So go check this out. It's a very cool tool. They got some free credits so you can use to be able to analyze your own brand right out the gate. So if you want to go check that out, have a look at edgeofthewebradio.com/WAIKAY, WAIKAY. So they know that you found them on the edge. Check them out and let us know what you think about that tool. All right. Rounding out our social media, just a couple more stories here, and just want to tag into something real quick. Instagram launches reposts, friend map, and more. This is from social media today as well. Hey, look, Andrew Hutchinson as well. He's all over that. He really is. So they've officially launched 3 new features, Instagram has, that's been testing for some time with reposts, friend map, and a friends tab in the Reels feed now to be able to be available for all users. On reposts in particularly, they've actually not allowed reposts inside of Instagram forever, and now it's available.
Is it fully launched or is it in limited release? I couldn't find that.
I see from this article, I think it's actually been fully launched here. They've resisted a couple of these different functions, but now it's here. I could be wrong, but it sounds like it's actually out in the full ecosystem here. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about 1, reposts, where you can actually repost a particular thread. Instagram's looking at this from an angling to be able to boost creator reach. Maybe a little bit of a benefit there last week. Meta also reported over 2/3 of recommended content on Instagram now comes from original posts, and this could be another element to broadly push and boost original creators. There's one thing there, but another thing that they're actually rolling out here is the Friends Map. Tell me about that, sir.
The Friends Map, I mean, it's really like I think it's an opt-in feature and one that some people aren't comfortable with because of privacy issues, but you can essentially see where your friends are on a map. So I think I mean, look, Facebook did that 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
And it was weird. But I think that the idea would be to know where people are just from a knowledge standpoint, but also perhaps to stimulate serendipitous social interactions in person. What a mouthful.
Wow, that is the sentence.
So, I mean, that's all I can see. Local discovery, social planning, that's used by... I mean, that apparently Snap Map is used by 400 million Snap users. I would personally question how many of the 400 million Snap users are using it.
Yeah.
I think it's available to everybody, but how many people are using it?
Here's an anecdote for you. I'll make it real brief here. Snap Map got one of my friend's daughters in trouble once because she literally jumped and left her school and got into her van and was doing a Snap Map, sharing with her friends that she just skipped school. And she Snap Mapped herself, and literally the parents saw it immediately going, "What kind of idiot are you?"
What was her answer?
Well, she didn't have an answer because they actually took her phone away permanently. It was pretty damn funny. Anyway,
I think the map feature could be cool if you got a notification from your phone that says, "Hey, you're close to like 30 of your friends." So like when we were at the state fair a week ago, it'd be cool. And then if I could turn it on at that point, like, okay, I want to join and see my other friends or whatever, right?
Right.
I think that'd be a cool way to handle it.
No, that's very interesting. Serendipitous social interactions in real life.
I'll trust you. I don't know if that. Yeah, exactly. It's just good. How much time do we really have to do all this, please? And how often are we just diving into our phones as opposed to experiencing the moment? Please, can't we have a? Again, and I know I'm talking to social media here.
Yeah, and I think the reality is it's not even millennials or Xers. I mean, and it's mainstream for Gen Z, but it's really opportunistic testing for Generation Alpha and younger Gen Zs. I think that's where the proving ground will be. It's like, hey, because I think that serendipitous social planning above the age of 35 may decline. So I think that it's maybe a specific group-oriented feature.
The ones that aren't exhausted. That's what you're saying. I get you. Okay. Rounding out a couple articles here. Lastly, or one before the last, Anu Adegbola over at Search Engine Land. Facebook upgrades their professional dashboard with new insights. They've revamped their dashboard, and it equips creators with deeper insights, streamlined tools, and cross-device flexibility. They've rolled out an enhanced set of, this is the web version itself, of a professional development dashboard, adding fresh creator insights, streamlined navigation, and improved parity with its mobile tools. Got to look that up. Coming soon, they're also going to have advanced trend insights, detailed content, performance data, distribution breakdowns, data export, and more. Data export. Hey, if you can actually get some of that data out of these tools, it's always fantastic, along with the bulk upload tools. So they also have some new audience insights as well. Great to be able to see whenever you have an enhancement for performance dashboards on all these platforms that we're moving ads into. So you've got that tool. Any thoughts there on that, Skinny?
I mean, I think that's super interesting that they're doing it. Anytime you have more audience insights, I have not seen the new audience insights, but anytime I'm wondering what are the additional audience insights enhancing the dashboard. I mean, but the question at the end of the day for brands is going to be, I mean, maybe a creator would go look at those, but if you're a brand, I mean, how many brands are you or organizations are using Facebook's dashboard?
Right.
Because when you're running social on even as little as 3 platforms, one of them, I mean, I guess all 3 of them could be Meta platforms, but if you're outside the Meta garden, you have to jump between dashboards, and so you're probably going to use a tool that brings you all the dashboards in one place. So
Yep.
I still think it's useful. The question is that will the third-party applications that have, consolidated and aggregated insights be able to access this? And I'm assuming that will be the case, so that's good.
I think it's dialed directly in for creators, and they even say that in the article itself. It's for creators to be able to track performance, manage the monetization, and engage audiences. So I mean, they're spot on. You're spot on of where this is really
heavy betting on the creator space. And notice that the decline, freaking 90% decline in the use of the word influencer.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Thank God.
I'm saying, can we get rid of guru too? But no, that actually has dropped.
Yeah.
In the instrumentals
and repositioning and empowering of creators. So. Now, of course, when you got a creator that's got above X 100,000 followers, I mean, for practical purposes, they are influencers, but with a heavier emphasis on content creation.
Yep. Very good. Very good. Last article on the deck here before we sign off, Duncan, and thank you so much for your time today.
Absolutely.
Meta rolls out AI-powered translations to creators globally, starting with English and Spanish. This is over at TechCrunch from Sarah Perez. They're rolling out this AI-powered, I'm going to start this again, AI-powered voice translation feature for all users on Facebook and Instagram globally. The company announced last Tuesday. The new feature, which is available in any market where Meta AI is available, allows creators to translate content into other languages so it can be viewed by a broader audience. The feature that was announced by Meta's Connect Developer Conference last year, where the company said it would pilot test automatic translation of creators' voices in Reels across both Facebook and Instagram. Check this out. They also note that AI translations will use the sound and tone of the creator's own voice to be able to make the dubbed voice sound authentic when translating the content in a new language. All right, nothing creepy there, but wait, there's more. If you're not covering up your mouth, it can also give you the option of translating your voice with Meta, and it can lip sync your face with what it's dubbing. How about them apples?
Milli Vanilli is so jealous.
Jacob, that's a self-dating reference.
It really is, man. You just went back like 30 years, but I'll give you 20. Creators can view the translations and lip syncs before they're posted publicly and can toggle off either option, right? Rejecting the translation won't impact the original reel, the company notes. Viewers watching the translated reel can see a notice at the bottom that indicates that it was translated with Meta AI. Those who don't want to see the translated reels in select languages can disable it at the settings menu itself. So
it kind of, I want to say, in the spirit of kind of lightheartedness, noise. It seems like just a flex, a social flex,
right.
A deep social flex for Meta AI. I mean, Zuckerberg has said, I think they're spending $60 billion, something like that, on making Meta the powerhouse of AI. And so to me, it just seems like, hey, another way to test it in the open.
So the settings there for the consumer to see that it's been translated, that breaks the authenticity connection there. But along with that, I have to make sure that we from this shop always want to make sure that if you're going to translate anything with AI, either by text or auditorially, right, you have to have somebody that is well-versed in that language to know whether or not your brand's getting misaligned by a mistranslated piece of communication there. If you're using AI to translate, one, make sure the user actually understands that you're trying to reach them, that this has not been uniquely developed for that language, right? If it's not there, you could very well inadvertently piss a lot of people off if it just gets something wrong, or more importantly, it's actually taking your inflections and your tone of voice. How in the world, without knowing that language, can you actually map that accordingly?
I mean, the lighthearted part of me says, man, yeah, you just gave like brand voice gurus so much more damn power, right? Because it's like, but also, I mean, it also gives Meta the AI's capabilities, the ability to track, as we were talking about in the pre-show, to track so much more voice-related content, voice-based content. And I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's noise, but.
Yeah, it's noise, but you could also see that it's probably not going to be indexable. Facebook's probably going to gate that content up.
Maybe we should just make that a thing whenever we talk about anything together. Noise. But.
Noise, but. Well, I mean, that's it. It had a good series of articles here today. Always cautionary tale of using AI. I think that was kind of peppered through the entire show. But you're always on top of it, folks, at Firebelly. I really do appreciate getting content in front of our listeners around the social media side of things. This is an area that I defer to the captains of the industry, so to speak, to be able to help guide us here. So with that, can we promote anything from Firebelly before we cut out?
Thank you so much for having us, Erin. Always a pleasure to collaborate with you. And, hey, if my role is to be your Ed McMahon, Erin, you devil, I'm happy to do it and enjoy it. Nothing to promote today.
It's a weird and wacky
Who's doing the dating now?
Guilty.
Oh my gosh, weird. Exactly.
Hey, Erin.
What
do you call someone who uses technology to teach people how to be better influencers?
What do you call
an AI influencer guru?
Ooh,
stop it.
That was like the buzzword of 2024, right?
Oh my God.
AI-powered marketing, baby. You don't need your traditional agency. You can have an AI-powered.
You know how many sites are coming up with GEO optimization, LLM optimization, all these sites are springing up all over the place, just trying to capture that concept.
Is it FOMO-based marketing?
It really is, and I mean the acronyms are being engineered as quickly as the pages are. It's bloody ridiculous. All right,
there's an Erin quote right there.
If you can come up with the next acronym, you can rank for it first.
Absolutely.
Ooh, Jacob. Very nice.
What did we do with you once? We had like a Jacob. What was the website that?
Was it me or was it Morty?
I think it was you.
It may have been.
I can't remember what we did. Well, we shut it down quickly after that. All right. All right. So check that out. Check out all the news, links from the show notes as well. Go over to the site. So check out our advertisers, our sponsors on the show as well, making sure that you check them out from those links. That's how they know that you found them on the edge. Check out our recent show with Bruce Clay, as we talked about, pre-writer, and also check out, we're going to be talking to Barry Adams next week, I believe, as we're talking about SEO AI and its influence inside of news right now. And that's a story unto itself of AI-created news and AI-updated news. But what a slippery slope that space is. So make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as we get these content pieces out. And if you would be so kind, go over to ratethispodcast.com/edge today so you can actually give us a 5-star, because Duncan's here in the studio. And we'd love to hear from you and let us know what you think about this show as well as the others that we've done. From all of us over the edge, stay safe, stay well, and don't be a piece of cyber driftwood. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.